Hello everyone, welcome back to Queen D Tarot. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm doing another read here from Toronto, my home city in Canada. It's a long weekend here, the weather is beautiful. I'm doing a lot of these IGTV collective reads outside because I've really been enjoying the warm weather and just being out in nature. I think the past year and a half has definitely taken me out of my comfort zone. A lot of the people who know me very well, who are tuned to this channel as well, know that they wouldn't necessarily describe me as an outdoorsy person. And I mean, I'm not going to get on a jet ski and go jump off a cliff into an ocean or anything of that sort, baby steps. But you know, I am enjoying being outside, and so I wanted to do as much of my readings out here as possible. It's a very beautiful way for me to connect with my grandmother's energy and for me to really get in tune with my own spirit. So you'll see the sun make an appearance here and there. It's suddenly getting a bit cloudy. But, you know, I wanted to do a collective read for Gemini season, mostly because I've just finished one that was very specific to the twin flame divine counterpart unions and situationships happening currently. But Gemini season is special to me because my moon is in Gemini, but I think it's also an action-packed season for various reasons. Gemini is the first air sign in the zodiac. It is ruled by the twin symbol. So, I mean, not only will it be significant for twin flames, but it's also about duality. So it's about understanding the light and dark parts of ourselves, the good and bad, the up and down, the mind and the heart, the body and the soul. It's really understanding ourselves in pairs and in duality. And it really promotes a level of interconnectedness. I'm not even trying to, you know, pull a card right now, but I got the Ace of Cups, which is a card of love, self-love, or love with another. So I do know that, I do believe that love is going to be a very significant theme in Gemini season. So I'll keep that card. But in addition to that, there's a lot of cosmic action happening. On May 23rd, we have Saturn going in retrograde for a few months, I believe until October 10th. And Saturn really is that planet of karma. So if you're doing the work, you are going to reap the benefits of what Saturn can bring to you. But if you're continuing to stay asleep and not do the work, then Saturn is going to kick your ass. So I just want to put that out there. On May 26th, we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which is directly opposite Gemini. Also on June 10th, we're going to have a full moon solar eclipse in Gemini, a new moon solar eclipse in Gemini. And then we're also going to usher in summer solstice on June 20th. And then, of course, starting May 29th, we have our favorite planet of communication, Mercury, going in retrograde up until the end of June. And Mercury is Gemini's ruling planet. So there is a lot happening. I think that a lot of this all comes down to communication and how committed we are to our journeys of self-love. And I think that's what the Ace of Cups is referring to. So I've got a card right out of the bat here for Gemini season. We really need to be looking at the parts of ourselves that are resisting self-love and the parts of ourselves that are supporting it. And then how can we bring a balance between the two? Listen, without negativity, there is no positivity, and vice versa. So we know that we need things in order to have something else. We know that things need to coexist. So what can we do and what can we understand about ourselves to better establish a balance that can usher in a beautiful level of self-love for us? I'd say Gemini season is a time to just take a break, you know, take a bath, you know, go out in nature, walk, speak to a loved one, do whatever that brings comfort to your soul. And I think by stepping into that place, you can really sort of understand what you need in order to really step into this energy of self-love. I think a lot of us who are really affected by the lunar cycles and cosmic events will know that the energies can get really, really, really dense. And when the energies get dense, sometimes we lose our way and we step away from moments of self-care and self-love because we get so preoccupied with other things. But this is not the time to do it. I think Gemini season is asking us, sorry, I'm just getting a lot of leaves on me. Gemini season is asking us to focus on this part of ourselves, okay? And just like I had mentioned, the duality, it's very important for us to understand where we are supporting ourselves and where we are resisting ourselves. Lord, these cards really do want to communicate. I'm going to keep shuffling. And I do want to also say that when Mercury goes retrograde, I used to be such a drama queen when Mercury would go into retrograde. I'd fear that the worst would happen. But Mercury retrograde is actually a really, really, really good thing. It calls us to go inward and really get in tune with ourselves and really reevaluate things. The in retrograde is a reevaluation, it's reflection, it's reimagining, it's reunion, it's returning, it's reanalysis. It's an opportunity for us to really analyze and look at how we're communicating, what's being communicated to us, how are we understanding it, how are we expressing it, and what does it ultimately mean, and how is it affecting our relationships, our careers, our abundance. How is it helping you heal? It's about taking the time to look at all those things. So Mercury retrograde is not something to fear. Now, yes, there will be some inconveniences. Usually, you know, my email stops working, my phone starts acting up. I notice usually during this time, posts don't properly get published to Instagram. So there are some inconveniences, but I don't think it's anything that needs to be feared. Just go with the flow. I just looked at the my timer and it was 5:55, which is a number of change. So we know that Gemini season will bring change to us. So what else do we need to know about this season? So we have the Five of Cups in reverse. It came out in reverse. And this was a card of usually disappointment and really sort of sadness. And we do have it in the reverse. So I feel that I'm getting two messages here. I think Gemini season is going to be leading us away from disappointment. We've been disappointed in the past. In the upright, in the actual Rider-Waite traditional tarot deck, this is the field tarot that I'm using, by the way. It's a beautiful new deck. So this situation is a little reimagined here. But in the actual traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, we have one person looking at the three spilled cups, but not really paying attention to the two cups that are full, standing upright behind him or her. So I feel that the fact that this is in reverse is saying that we're stepping away from an energy where we're not focusing on the disappointments of the past anymore, but we are looking at what we actually have working for us. We are focusing on the two cups that we still have, the tools and resources that are available to us, the love and the confidence that we do have, and the might, the steadiness, and the dedication that we have to really push forward. We're no longer focusing on the disappointments of the past. So this is wonderful. Now, while that is one of the messages I'm getting, the second message that I'm getting with this card in reverse is that some of us are refusing to acknowledge the lessons that we were trying to be shown, the lessons that the universe wanted us to learn from the disappointments that we faced in the past. Some of us, I think, have just get into an energy of avoidance. We start running away from things that don't speak to our hearts, things that cause a lot of stress. So for those of us who have run away from certain situations, didn't choose to acknowledge certain things, didn't have tough conversations, didn't have the confidence or the bravery to challenge or step up to the plate for something, Gemini season, with the Saturn and the Mercury retrogrades in specific during that time, I see will give you an opportunity to reevaluate and reimagine and, you know, reclaim that space, that energy that you were stepping away from. It's giving you an opportunity to do that. So while some of us have stepped away from the past and we're looking forward to the future now, some of us are going to be given an opportunity to get back to those past situations, get some closure, and deal with those things properly. So this is a very beautiful energy. Now, I do want to say, when a lot of the things that can happen in retrograde, yes, may happen with inconveniences and drama and, you know, may trigger you. Just find your balance, find your steadiness, breathe, and flow through those situations. All because things come to you in a very stressful and dramatic way doesn't mean you need to continue with that energy. You can really redefine how you're dealing with a lot of these emotions and processing them. And Gemini season and the retrograde periods are asking you to do that, okay? I like that. I really do like that. You know, because I feel sometimes everybody can get really positive and just focus on moving forward, but some of us don't really take the time to learn what we need to from the past to make sure certain things don't repeat themselves as we move forward. And I think that's important. I had a bunch of cards actually fall from the deck, and one's actually in the deck facing me upright here. So I'm going to take that too. So the first card that I got was Temperance. Okay, so this is a major arcana card. This is Sagittarian energy, and we've got the full moon lunar eclipse on May 26th in Sagittarius. So I think, and Temperance is a card of balance. So I think that with this full moon, lunar eclipse coming in Gemini season on May 26th, we are going to find that not only will it be easier for us to attain balance during this time with whatever it is that you're dealing with, but that balance will be ushered into situations that didn't really have closure. Balance will start to be restored into things that you once found stressful. You'll start maybe finding that, financial abundance starts coming in a little steadier, that things sort of balance themselves out. So in love, I see that any energies that were toxic or any energies that were very stressful are going to find a balanced, peaceful flow, okay? That doesn't mean that flow will come in easily. Like, please understand that when I say balance, you have to be open to however the universe is going to help you restore that balance. It's just not going to be this beautiful cloud that just comes in and restores everything magically, like Cinderella's fairy godmother. It's not going to be that way. You're going to have to be open to however balance is being restored. But it's about being aware and understanding and attuned with the messages that you're getting, and understanding what's beneath the surface, and really what your heart is saying to you and not your mind. That's going to help you usher in the balance that's coming to you. So be open to the people, places, and things that are coming to you. That is not an excuse to enter into abusive relationships. That is not an excuse to accept back a toxic ex. Please understand that your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health is of the utmost importance, and make sure you protect yourselves. But don't allow yourself to be so guarded that you resist things that are actually coming to you in a very beautiful way, okay? So we see balance coming in during this season. The next card I see here is the Three of Cups, which is friendship. I do have to say that this came upside down in the deck when I was showing it to you. It was a deck that was upright amongst everything, but I ended up taking it upright for whatever reason. So in the reversed, I do see that a lot of us have been in a pandemic. A lot of us haven't really been able to embrace our community. We found different ways to embrace our community and our soul tribe, whether it's virtually or phone calls, FaceTime, emails, whatever it is. But we're being given an opportunity to really sort of reconnect with our soul tribe, however that needs to be, and safely, obviously, because we are still facing a pandemic. But I'm seeing that once where you felt disconnected from your tribe and your community, you're going to find an opportunity to reconnect with those spirits again. And they're going to bring in so much lovely, beautiful energy. They're going to help you heal. They're going to help you laugh. They're going to really help you enjoy this time, the next month that we have ahead of us. And you might find that a lot of this lighthearted laughter and fun that you're having with these important people in your group are going to help you ride out some of the intense energies that we're going to be facing throughout Gemini season with all these eclipses happening. Because Gemini season with the full moon lunar eclipse of Sagittarius on May 26th is ushering in the next few months of eclipses that we have coming up. So this is a lovely card. Now in the reverse, I do want to say, when it comes to situations of love, if there were any third party or karmic situations involved, I do see that Gemini season will sort of usher in an end to those situations. Now, when I say third party, this doesn't mean that somebody's cheating on you. This doesn't mean that, your husband has another wife or another partner somewhere. This doesn't mean if you're in divine counterpart twin flame situations that that person is dating somebody, even though it could. Third party can be any sort of karmic energy. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be many different things. But where I see the main message in this, to me, when I say third party and karmic situations, is that wherever we've had an interference and a blockage when it comes to karma, and when it comes to a third energy that doesn't allow you to find a synchronicity between your heart and mind and step forward in the way you want, those energies are going to find closure. And when I say find closure, I mean they're going to find their way out of your energetic force field. You're going to be cleared of them. We don't know how this is going to happen, obviously, because the universe always has a divine plan for us, and they're always going to surprise us. But we have to be open to how this is going to happen for us, okay? So in one hand, I do see beautiful community and a reconnection happening. And on the other hand, I do see closure to third-party energies that have needed to bite the dust for a very long time, okay? Now, I do have to say, if we have third-party karmic situations involved in energies, the eclipse season will be very intense for those connections. It will not be an easy closeout, but it will happen nonetheless, okay? So I see the beginnings of that happening, the crumblings of that happening here. I also do want to say I love how the pastels match my shirt. Anyways, and then that other last card, the sun. So any of you who are following me, you know how important the sun is for me. This is Leo energy. The sun is the happiest card in the tarot deck. This is extreme joy. It's inner union. It's letting your inner child out and having fun. This is you being completely self-confident and really taking charge of your life and going forward. The sun is here. So for those of us who are experiencing summer right now, in Gemini season in the Northern Hemisphere, this is an opportunity and a call for you to get out into the sun. Enjoy that space. Enjoy the beauty that is going to be ushered in for you during this time. Get outdoors. Be amongst nature. Look at the trees. Enjoy the flowers. Do some planting. Take care of your garden. Focus on the seeds that you're planting in your garden because they will blossom and reap so much bounty and abundance for you during the season. So that's what the sun card is saying to me. Also, this is extreme Leo energy. So I do want to say that even though I'm doing this read for the collective for Gemini season, as we get closer and closer and closer to Leo season, we can see a lot of those. We can see the rewards being reaped from the seeds that we've sowed in Gemini season. So be careful of what intentions and seeds of hope that you're planting now, because I do see that a lot of that fruition will take place in July and August as we're in Leo season. So that's very important too. This is a beautiful card. This is my favorite card. Gotta love a Leo. So what else do we want to know here? I just love doing these readings outside because I never know what sort of sounds and situations I'm going to be greeted with, right? But it's all about surrender. It's all about going with the flow, We have Starseed. What lights you up at the bottom of the deck, and at the top, I've got boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Okay, so two very different things here. So one with Starseed, what lights you up? This, to me, is just a continuation of the energy I was saying here with the sun. What makes you happy? Even though there's a call here from spirit to go out in nature and just bask in the sun is also about joy and happiness. So what brings you happiness? What brings you joy? Go do that. Is it about painting? Go pick up that hobby again. Do you love cooking? Does it make you happy? Go and, start cooking a feast. Do what makes you happy and don't have an excuse about it, okay? And I think this is where the boundaries come in, because I feel like a lot of people have had very loose boundaries that have prevented them from really embracing the joy and happiness that they want in life. Whether it's moving towards a person in love, whether it's moving towards a career that you really wanted, or just, moving away from certain people. I feel that we have allowed ourselves to be affected so heavily by certain people without setting proper boundaries that it's had us step further and further away from the joy that we've wanted to establish in life. I specifically see parental figures coming up here. And I think that's probably coming because I've had to deal with a lot of my family during this time too. How do I set boundaries between people? How do I make sure that I'm constantly working towards my life mission and not trying to recreate or reimagine the dreams that my father and mother had for me? Because those are their dreams, they're not my dreams, right? And sometimes I feel moving away from what our parents have wanted from us, sometimes it's the hardest thing we have to do as children. But these cards are telling us to have faith that what you want, you can have, that the impossible that you thought is actually possible, and that with the proper boundaries and respect and love in place, you don't have to worry about your parents being upset. It's about what you want. I think the responsibility is for us to really usher in the energies required to set some of these boundaries, and to really, and you'll be surprised to see once you start setting these boundaries, I do feel that the things that you're trying to place boundaries against will actually end up respecting you and honoring you more. I feel that the amount of limitations that we have set upon ourselves in this situation is really what we think is the situation and not really what's actually happening. So it's really important. It's funny as I say that, my dad, I think he wants to mow the lawn and he's like looking at me just trying to make sure that he's not disturbing me, right? Because I set a boundary. I said, Dad, this is my time. Make sure you're not doing anything that's going to interrupt with my reading, because it's really important to me. And I saw him coming in, making sure, okay, is he done? Because I want to mow the lawn. So there you go. It's as simple as that. The fact that he's even respected that shows me that he's willing to meet me halfway, okay? And sometimes it's about understanding that too. Sometimes it's also about how are you respecting other people's boundaries, okay? I know that with my dad, he can only think so far ahead. He can only have his mental space grasp and comprehend so much of what it is that I'm doing and trying to push through in my life. I'm not expecting him to show up in certain areas, but I work with him so we can meet each other halfway. So it's also about how you are respecting other people's boundaries and how you are allowing them to respect your boundaries. This isn't about just building a fence and telling people to stay away. You can't do that. You need to respect other people too. So how are we ushering in that? How are we having that conversation? Ultimately, it's all leading towards our happiness, but I think there's a lot of work involved from you, not only in setting them, but helping other people understand why they're there in place too, okay? That was a lot. I hope that made sense. Okay. And I wanted to pull one more card from Sacred Journey deck from Denise Lynn, because we are all on a sacred journey here. Okay. I want to pull one card, but I'm getting three. And it's everything that I've just really said. We've got flow, okay? We've got abundance. And we've got embracing. And so I'm going to be quick here because I do think it's quite repetitive at this point. But the flow is asking you, number one, with the moon here, I do see that a lot of the eclipses and the lunar cycles that we're going to be experiencing during Gemini season, a lot of those intense energies, Spirit is asking us to just flow through these energies. Don't try to act or plan or actively do anything that can create resistance. Just understand, comprehend, feel, honor, and release. That's what we need to do during this time, okay? Abundance. The seeds that we plant during Gemini season, as I said before, are going to reap some major rewards for us during the summertime. And I do see that coming up about, July and August in that Leo energy sort of phase. So even though I keep saying summertime here in the Northern Hemisphere, that is the winter season. But just understand that whatever you are planting in Gemini season will reap rewards for you before this winter season is complete, okay? Before we head into the fall season, which would be spring in the Southern Hemisphere. So this is an opportunity for us to really, really step into a space where we can really excel and where our dreams of extreme wish fulfillment, of having our dreams be fulfilled. There's so much positivity here for us. And then also embrace. I think embrace and flow go together for me. In order to really experience this abundance, how are we embracing this journey? Okay? A lot of us plan around things. A lot of us shift things. A lot of us drop this schedule, rebook this appointment, cancel that appointment. A lot of us start to really think, okay, who do I need to cut out? What needs to come back into my life? Who do I need to call? We spend so much time doing action. We're not flowing, you know? Sometimes when we're creating too much action, we're creating resistance, and that's coming from a very headspace. That's coming from your mind, and the mind can have a lot of blockages. But we tend to really block out what our heart is telling us. And sometimes in order for our heart to communicate with us, we need to give it some time. And how do we give it time? By embracing flow, by allowing ourselves to just feel through what's happening. If Gemini season brings some tension in, we're not going to plan around and just react to that situation right away, because how we feel in that moment is going to be very different from how we feel later. You'll notice that you'll keep acting from a headspace, but it's really our heart that speaks to us later, right? So really embrace this flow. And that, I think, is going to be the key to us really claiming this abundance and finding success during Gemini season, and what is going to be the start of a very, very intense season of eclipses. So, best of luck. Set your boundaries. Prioritize yourself. Make sure that self-love and self-care is at the top of that list, and make sure that you're not dimming your light, that you're focusing on the things that bring you joy, and ultimately you will find yourself seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with this, okay?